Well, y'all, we are back and we are talking about God's messengers. I'm going to tell you what, I know God's messengers were good. Now, our current day messengers ain't so good. Maybe we're talking about different kind of messengers here. I cannot get in touch with my friend Bill. It says the circuits are busy. He only lives one state over. What's going on, y'all? Them messengers ain't no good, but God's messengers always good. Day 45. Some of you thought about a little tiny record. Others of you thought about an old Colt. Don't matter what you thought, we're on day 45. And we got Elijah. Yep, now Elijah the Tishbite from Tishba in Gilead said to Ahab, "As the Lord, the God of Israel, lives, whom I serve, there will be neither dew nor rain in the next few years except at my word." Watch out, y'all. It's about to get dry. Then the word of the Lord came to Elijah, "Leave here, turn eastward, and hide in the Kerith ravine." Yeah, the Kerith ravine, he said, "east of the Jordan. You will drink from the brook, and I have directed the ravines to supply you with food there." Might be ravens. Yeah, it's ravens. The ravine's not going to supply them with food. The ravens. All right. So he did what the Lord had told him. He went to Kerith ravine east of the Jordan and stayed there. The ravens brought him bread and meat in the morning and bread and meat in the evening, and he drank from the brook. Awesome bird friends, and I like some ravens. After a long time in the third year, I like grackles better, but they're the same kind of looking bird. But after a long time in the third year, the word of the Lord came to Elijah, "Go and present yourself to Ahab, and I will send rain on the land." So Elijah went and presented himself to Ahab. When he saw Elijah, he said to him, "Is that you, you troubler of Israel?" Come on, dude. Watch it. "I have not made trouble for Israel," Elijah replied, "but you and your father's family have. You have abandoned the Lord's commands and have followed the Baals." Stiff-necked people, come on, stop following these Baals. Next thing you're going to tell me is you erected an Asherah pole. Anyway, now summon the people from all over Israel to meet me on Mount Carmel. I love some caramel too. And bring the 450 prophets of Baal and the 400 prophets of Asherah. What I say, look at these stiff-necked people. You just watch what God's about to show out and do. Who ate at Jezebel's table. So Ahab sent word throughout all Israel and assembled the prophets on Mount Carmel, because I love some caramel. Elijah went before the people and said, "How long will you waver between two opinions? If the Lord is God, follow him. But if Baal is God, follow him." But the people said nothing. Then Elijah said to them, "I am the only one of the Lord's prophets left, but Baal has 450 prophets. Get 2 bulls for us. Let Baal's prophets choose one for themselves, and let them cut it into pieces and put it on the wood, but not set fire to it. I will prepare the other bull and put it on the wood, but not set fire to it. Then you call on the name of your God, and I will call on the name of the Lord. And God, the God who answers by fire, he is God. Little g in the God who answers by fire. He is God, big G. Saying, yeah. So we're dealing with two things here. Only one's real, y'all. Then all the people said, what you say is good. Only makes sense, right? Elijah said to the prophets of Baal, choose one of the bulls and prepare it first, since there are so many of you. Call on the name of your God, but do not light the fire. So they took the bull given them and prepared it. Then they called on the name of Baal from morning till noon. Baal, answer us, they shouted. But there was no response, 'cause no one answered, and they danced around the altar and that they had made. At noon, Elijah began to taunt them. Dude's tripping on him. He's like, watch this. He says, shout louder. He said, surely he is a god. Perhaps he is in deep thought, or busy, or traveling. Maybe is sleeping and must be awakened. So they shouted louder and slashed themselves with swords and spears, as was their custom, until their blood flowed. Midday passed, and they continued their frantic prophesying until the time for the evening sacrifice. But there was no response. No one answered. No one paid attention. Now, we all know who God is, and he's about to show up. He's about to show up big. Then Elijah said to all the people, come here to me. They came to him, and he repaired the altar of the Lord which had been torn down. Elijah took 12 stones, one for each of the tribes descended from Jacob, to whom the word of the Lord had come, saying, your name shall be Israel. With the stones he built an altar in the name of the Lord, and he dug a trench around it, large enough to hold 2 sheaves of seed. Who knows? It's a big thing. It's a she. 2 of them. But not like she. It's like Seahs. Could be completely different than what I said. He arranged the wood, cut the bull into pieces, and laid it on the wood. Now I got a bloody bull parts on the wood. Then he said to them, fill 4 large jars with water and pour it on the offering and on the wood. This is just water. They doused it, right? He said, do it again. He said they did it again. Do it a 3rd time. They're going to take all these jars and douse it a 3rd time. That's what he ordered, and they did it the 3rd time. The water ran down the altar and even filled the trench. At the time of sacrifice, the prophet Elijah stepped forward and prayed, Lord, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, let it be known today that you are God, big G, in Israel, and that I am your servant and have done all these things at your command. That's what he did it for, was God. Answer me, Lord, answer me, so these people will know that you, Lord, are God, and that you are turning their hearts back again. Then the fire of the Lord fell and burned up the sacrifice, and the wood, the stones, the soil. It also licked up the water in the trench. When all the people saw this, they fell prostrate and cried, the Lord, he is God, big G. The Lord, big L, he is big G God. Yeah, oh, they knew. They knew before. They just tripping. Come on now. Elijah's been in the kitchen all day. Let the man cook. He's going. Then Elijah commanded them, seize the prophets of Baal. Do not let anyone get away. They seized them, and Elijah had them brought down to the Kishon Valley, and slaughtered there. Elijah said to Ahab, "Go eat and drink, for there is the sound of heavy rain." So Ahab went off to eat and drink. But Elijah climbed to the top of Carmel, bent down to the ground, and put his face between his knees. "Go and look toward the sea," he told his servant. And he went up and he looked. He just looked, right? "There's nothing there," he said. 7 times Elijah said, "Go back." The 7th time the servant reported, "A cloud as small as a man's hand is rising from the sea." So Elijah said, "Go and tell Ahab, hitch up your chariot and go down before the rain stops you." Meanwhile the sky grew black with clouds and wind rose. A heavy rain started falling, and Ahab rode off to Jezreel. The power of the Lord came on Elijah, and tucking his cloak into his belt, he ran ahead of Ahab all the way to Jezreel. He's a runner, huh? Jezebel was not one to count her losses. When Ahab's own will to fight was exhausted, he could count on Jezebel to keep charging. Her will to win overcame any doubts she might have had about the failure on Mount Carmel. There's Carmel. Now Ahab told Jezebel everything Elijah had done, and how he had killed all the prophets with the sword. So Jezebel sent a messenger to Elijah to say, "May the gods, little g gods, deal with me, be it ever so severely, if by this time tomorrow I do not make your life like that of one of them." Elijah was afraid and ran for his life. Come on, Elijah, you got God. When he came to Beersheba in Judah, he left his servant there, while he himself went a day's journey into the wilderness. He came to a broom bush, sat down under it, and prayed that he might die. "I have had enough, Lord," he said. "Take my life. I am no better than my ancestors." Then he lay down under the bush and fell asleep. All at once an angel touched him and said, "Get up and eat." He looked around, and there by his head was some bread baked over hot coals and a jar of water. He ate and drank, and then lay down again. The angel of the Lord came back a second time, touched him, and said, "Get up and eat, for the journey is too much for you." So he got up and ate and drank. Strengthened by that food, he traveled 40 days and 40 nights until he reached Horeb, the mountain of God, where he went into a cave and spent the night. And the word of the Lord came to him, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" Now, you know what? I'm early. I'm going to stop there. It's top page 207 because I don't want to go late again today. Man, is that not cool? What an amazing story that is. And that's something that, when God shows up and shows out in your own life, it's amazing. Because it can't be nothing but God. Because things change. Stuff happens, right? And here we got the story of Elijah himself, the prophet, right? And he's sitting here and he's calling God, and fire's coming down from heaven and wham, burning it all up. And all these people realize Their gods weren't really gods. They didn't have a real God on their side. Real God was on Elijah's side. So, man, they was ready at that point. Man didn't have to run. He did, but he didn't have to. No, God said, I got your back, and you ain't going to die whether you sit here or don't sit here. It's like, if you want to go get tired, go get tired. I guess I have to give you some food to keep you going. Got a journey, 40 days and 40 nights. That number keeps coming up. 40 days and 40 nights. It repeats in the Bible. It's almost like they're trying to tell you something about them 40 days and 40 nights. Yeah. Good stuff. So anyway, y'all, I hope y'all are having a blessed day. I hope it's a blessed night. I hope it's just blessed where you're at. I thank you for all of my thumbs uppers, people giving it to like. I thank you for the subscribers. And I definitely want to thank Mr. Sunny D. Buddy boy, how you doing? And Nyla Jean, love you, girl. Hey, I hope y'all get to see this. I hope you enjoy it. Pop's going to keep saying it to you. And all the rest of you that don't know Pop, and you just happen to be on, okay, that's good. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I probably do not say this as good as some of the eloquent, educated speakers of the Bible. But this ain't really the Bible. This is the story. We are reading the story. And it's everything from the Bible condensed. It doesn't have everything. Everything in it is from the Bible. But it doesn't have everything that the Bible has, if that makes sense. Yeah, in a little bit of a different order, too. Kind of neat. But anyway, I love y'all, and I hope you have a blessed day. It's good that you're here seeing me again today. Bye.